interested really in political science and international affairs.
Yeah.
And I'm not really a historian, I'm really a political scientist. And I chose the name Conversations with History at the suggestion of someone who was viewing some of my interviews and said, well, we used to call them Conversations on International Affairs. And this person from Intel said, well, these are really Conversations with History, hence the title. Well, I've done 545 over several decades. The first people I interviewed was Linus Pauling, the Nobel laureate, and it took a lot of chutzpah because I had really never done any interviewing professionally and I had no training in it. And he was here giving the Hitchcock lectures, and I got on his schedule and we sat down and did an interview. Interestingly enough, the focus of the interview was not on his Nobel Prize for chemistry, but on his Nobel Prize for peace, which was a conversation about history. They're cross disciplines, and my goal is in an hour of video interviewing to capture a sense of the distinguished men and women I'm interviewing, and what makes them tick, what in their background influenced them to grapple with a certain set of ideas, and then how they see those ideas changing the world. Oliver Stone, who for that interview I prepared by watching all of his movies up until that time, and I think he was impressed that I was so prepared. And when I asked him how Vietnam had changed him and affected his art, he opened up in quite a moving way, and we captured that on tape. When I interviewed Robert McNamara, I was curious, not impressed, I was curious as to why he left Harvard and the academy to become president of Ford. So I said to him, why did you make that move? And his answer was that he and his wife both got polio when they were at Harvard, and he needed the money to pay for her treatment and his. And I was taken aback. I had never read that anywhere, and I don't think anybody had really ever gotten that out of him. I prepare quite a bit. I do quite a bit of reading for each interview. I do not have a research staff, so all these interviews I do through my own research that I myself am doing. And so that's one thing. So preparation. So when we start talking, very quickly the guest knows that I pretty much know who they are and what they've done. And then from that point, it's very easy to ask very simple questions, which sort of take them back. Where were you educated? How did your parents influence you? Why did you wind up doing what you're doing? So that's the second element. The third element is I listen to their answers. So as I have a general sense of where I want to go, I also listen and have follow-up questions. So that's the third element in why people relax and open up. And the fourth thing is a funny story, which is when I started, I was asked if I wanted to edit the interviews, and I said to the editor, what is involved in that? And they said money. I had to pay for an editor, but I had no budget. And so as a result, I learned to edit as we talk. So I have an hour's time, I'm prepared, I listen, and I have a general sense of where I want to go. And all of those things come together to create an environment in which people loosen up and in the end are very relaxed. So I love doing what I was doing, and interesting enough, that's the secret. When I ask people at the end of the interviews lessons from their life for students, they always say, like what you're doing. That was one thing. So I'm here doing what I like to do, and then technology came to my door. So the series started just for access channels locally, then regionally in the state of California. Then satellite television came along, and UCTV needed programming, and then YouTube came along. And so now I have a worldwide audience. And this proves that I interview people from all walks of life.